What is up, star seeds? I am Sydalexandria, and today we are going to be talking about astrocartography. So in case you're not familiar with astrocartography, it is basically the science and the art of figuring out good places to travel to or even to live based on your astrology. Now, how is this done? So when you were born, obviously you need to know the location of this for this to be accurate. You need to know the time for this to be accurate, because where the earth was, we've got the globe in the back, when you were born, the trajectory of where certain planets and certain points are creates a line on a map of the earth. Okay? So when you input your birth information into a calculator, it's going to give you lines. It will show you where certain lines are running on a map of the world. So now, what do these certain lines mean? They represent planetary energies. So where would you want to live or where would you want to travel? Kind of depends person to person, but in general, I would say living somewhere where your sun line is going to bring out lots of energy in you. You're going to be a very expressive person. You might be in the spotlight there. Living somewhere where your moon line runs through, that might mean that you are very in touch with your emotions there. Okay, you might be more to yourself, more introverted there. Living somewhere where your Mercury line runs through, you're going to be very communicative. Okay, living somewhere where your Venus line runs through, I find can correlate to past lives or past life lovers. You might find good relationships there. You might have lots of fun with friends there. Okay, it's not all about romance. And then living somewhere where your Mars line runs through means you might be prone to a little bit of aggression, or you might be putting your plans to action, or a little bit of both. You also might be having some really good. Okay, and then living somewhere where your Jupiter line runs through. This means you're going to be very in touch with your spirituality. Okay, this might be a great place to travel to. Blessings will come to you here. A Jupiter line is a great line to live on. Living somewhere where your Saturn line runs through. This means that you are going to be all about work, very diligent. Okay, you might be a boss or in charge of something. So living somewhere where your Saturn line runs through in the peak of your career might be good, but for overall, for your whole life, you might turn into a workaholic and be kind of stubborn and upset about it. Living somewhere where your Uranus line runs through means you are going to be very quirky, very into whatever you're into. Okay, you're going to be independent, and this is probably a great line to live on when you're in college or times in your life where you just want to kind of get to know yourself more. Living somewhere where your Neptune line runs through is going to be really great for recalling dreams, and it's going to help you tap into your un and subconscious minds. It can also help you tap into your spirituality more. Living somewhere where your Pluto line runs through is going to make you a rebel. It's going to make you revolutionary. Okay, you're going to tap into your past karmas as well, because you can't have the light without the dark. Living somewhere where your Chiron line runs through is going to bring up past traumas. It's going to bring up some emotions, but this might be a good place to take a trip to heal that. Living somewhere where your North Node runs through is going to help you reach your destiny. Living somewhere where your South Node runs through is going to help you discover what you've come from. And these really go hand in hand. So living on your node's line means that you are going to not only tap into what you've come from, but where you are meant to go. It's going to help you connect with your past destiny, your present destiny, and connecting with both of those at once can be kind of an overload. You might feel overwhelmed. Or you can integrate those energies to be very in the present moment. Okay, this can go either way. Living somewhere where your ascendant line runs through means that you are going to come across to people however you please to come across to people. You are going to make great first impressions. Living somewhere where your IC line runs through means that you are going to connect to your roots. You're going to heal ancestral trauma. Living somewhere where your descendant line runs through means that you are going to attract partners and you are going to attract qualities that you desire in yourself to yourself. Living somewhere where your midheaven line runs through is going to be great for your destined career. If you want your career to take off, go where your midheaven line is. So that is what all of these energies are like with certain planets, certain celestial points and bodies. So take this into consideration when looking at your astrocartography chart. And use your knowledge as well as your intuition to kind of mash those energies together to understand what, say, a Jupiter midheaven line would be like, using the planetary or celestial point, as well as combining it with either your AC, IC, DC, or MC. Just use those interpretations and mash them together to get a picture or an idea of what each of those lines would look like, because on astrocartography, it's going to be like your Sun IC line. It's going to be your Saturn MC line and things like this, okay? So you are going to have to interpret that for yourself, because I don't want to explain 4 different scenarios for each of those planetary energies. It's simple to just kind of combine those ideas together. So now, as you can see here on my computer, I went to my favorite astrocartography website, which is Astro Dynast on astro.com. So this is what it looks like on a computer. If you're using a phone, it's going to look a bit different. So as you guys saw before, I just input a little bit of data, my birthday, time, location, and I didn't click on the aspects like harmonious or disharmonious, but now I did click on with harmonious aspects. Okay, so this is what it looks like with all of those lines that we talked about before. And as you can see, kind of on the left side of the screen over in like Russia area, all of my lines kind of intersect over there. So I believe that can tell about your past lives where all of your lines intersect. It's going to happen in 2 spots in your chart, as well as looking at where your Venus line is. I find that has to do with past lives. And then on here, as you can see before, I was born in Michigan, so I live kind of where that like cursor is. And I have my trine Neptune line running through parts of like Pontiac and Inkster and Redford. And let me tell you, I used to go there like every day when I was 16 and 17. And that was a time in my life where I was getting downloads of information and really tapping into my spirituality. So that makes so much sense for me. And I mean, I live a few miles away from there. So I'm constantly kind of tapped into that trine Neptune energy. And let me see real quick. Neptune trine midheaven. So it's like trine my like destiny, my destined career. Neptune trine destiny. That's so powerful, and I live right by there, so I'm actually in a really good spot for myself. I was born in a great spot. My Neptune was, just in a harmonious aspect. So I thought that was interesting. There's spots all over the world that you guys can find in your chart that might be interesting to you. So zoom in and look all around the world. It's going to look a lot different on a phone. It's going to look a bit more complicated, but hey, that's okay. I usually look at this on a phone, but looking at it on a computer is a lot easier, let me tell you. Also, on this website, if you click the line, it will give you a description of the line, okay? So you don't need to know everything about this if you don't know anything about astrology. It's going to look kind of complicated, but if you click these lines, you can learn what it all means. And if you click where 2 lines cross, like say you want to click where, I don't know, your moon line, something like your moon descendant is, crossing your Mars line, your Mars IC or whatever, it will tell you what that means when those lines are crossing, which is just So freaking cool that this website does that. So go check it out. I don't want this video to be too long, but I do want to say that I do astrology reports. I do quantum healing hypnosis technique and beyond quantum healing. And I also do intuitive readings. So if you're interested in a session with me, we can go over like some things I'm picking up for your off-planet past lives, as well as some of your astrology and how the astrology can back that up. Whatever you need, email me, sydalexandriaegypt@gmail.com. Peace out.